All right, first question for Torey. Start with Greg on the left.
Torey, it's cool to watch, right? Is there any pleasure for you as a manager in these kinds of games, right? Like, this isn't just like you got 4 home run hitters that just go up there and maul, you're up 8-0 and you cruise on in. Like, you have to be locked in the whole time. Would you rather it be the other way? Are you enjoying it this way? What's it been like for you?
First of all, it's time of the year where you're hoping everybody is doing their job to the best of their ability, right? But I enjoy watching us perform because I think we're a good baseball team. We are 26 players strong. Everybody understands their roles, know what they have to do to get to that point to help this team win a baseball game, and it's all about doing your job. Don't get me wrong, the Phillies are an unbelievable team, and 1 through 9, they can knock the ball to the ballpark at any time. We just want to have more than just the long ball in our tool bag. They do too. I don't want to feel like I'm insulting them. But we can hit home runs. We have hit home runs. But I think what we rely on is just having a high baseball IQ, winning the margins, and executing at a high level no matter what the circumstance is, and that includes defense. But offensively, we have an identity to grind you down a little bit, have a consistent at-bat, have an all-field approach, and then have somebody come up and slug or get that big base hit at the most critical point in time. But I prefer the way we do it because it's an entire engagement by the entire team, and everybody's all in.
Steve?
Hey, Torey, what have you been seeing out of Saul Frank lately? It seems like he's not had the same command he did when he first came up.
We're still getting to know him a little bit, right? He has been a strike thrower in the minor leagues. I think the league has made an adjustment to him. They're not chasing those borderline pitches. He might be showing a little frustration on the mound. Those are conversations that we're going to have with him, or I intend on having with him at some point during the day today, and just blocking out all the noise and going out there and executing. For me, I thought his best pitches of the inning were thrown to Harper, the 3-0, 3-1, and the foul ball 3-2. So I think something triggered in him where he started to be aggressive. So a couple things. Fight through the moments that don't go well and then continue to be aggressive and stay on the attack. That'll be something that I get to with him today.
JP?
A couple questions on the offensive side. It was the 18th batter that Wheeler faced in Game 1. Perdomo got the home run and got you guys going a little bit. Mm-hmm. What's the key to having that type of at-bat quality earlier in the game against Wheeler?
Yeah. He's a really good pitcher. He's a stud. And we have our work cut out for us. We have a game plan, and we got to make adjustments through the course of the game and get engaged quickly. I don't want to have to wait and be down 3-0 or 5-0, whatever the score was when Perdomo finally did hit that ball. But we've seen him. There's some familiarity, and it was less than a week ago. So I think our guys are going to be ready to go back up there and make adjustments a little bit quicker. But we have the utmost respect for his ability to execute. And he's going to probably make an adjustment to his game plan to stay one step ahead of our adjustments. I think that's what quality pitchers do. So we just got to see the ball in the area that we're looking. There's a definite game plan against him, and we can't miss the pitch we're looking for.
And with Alec, how was he different either mechanically or mentality-wise after he came back from the minor leagues?
Well, his makeup is off the charts. He's just so easygoing and chill, and has a mentality that it's a football mentality. He grew up playing football, and he's just a tough kid, and he wants to win everything that he does, and he can separate it and have some fun and step away from the moment, and then re-engage when he's supposed to. So I think his makeup is a separator for him. Part two, I think he was very jumpy when he first came to the big leagues. There was a lot of movement with his lower half. He's learned how to slow that down, and I still think he's a work in progress, but he's made some quality adjustments that's allowed him to see the baseball a little bit longer and enabled him to do things like he did yesterday.
Bob?
Hey, Torey, in a game like last night, how tough is it for you to go to sleep after a game like that, and do you watch highlights of the home run or look at videos?
Yeah, I wound up pretty tight after the game. I didn't probably go to bed until very late. I was with my wife and her best friend, her husband, and their children, playing Pop-A-Shot in the man cave, and had a couple of drinks that weren't water or Gatorade, and kind of just enjoyed the moment and listened to their conversations because they're fans too. And I just was paying attention to what they were saying. I heard the excitement, and yeah, I did start to watch some highlights. Right, the sports stations are on the TVs downstairs, and yeah, I found myself watching the home run 3 or 4 times, and it's just a good feeling. I wanted to feel as good as I possibly could because we all enjoyed that.
Jesse in the back.
Torey, the other day you said, time of year, egos aside, personal things aside. Having said that, what's the conversations like with Tommy as you've pinch hit for him a few times, and does it help that Pavin keeps coming through?
Well, yeah, it's not a popularity contest for me. I have to make tough decisions. That's why I'm put in this seat. So I have to do what's best for the team, and I got to put 26 ahead of, 1, 2 guys that aren't used to having things done like that. He's a competitor. Tommy wants to be out there from the first pitch until the last, and he never wants to come off the field. And I respect that. I respect Tommy Pham, and I love him. And I think at the end of the day, he understands that if it's somebody else besides him for right now in this small little snapshot of where we're trying to get to, he's going to go out there and root on his teammates. I know he was upset yesterday. I know he was upset about the decisions that were made that were involving him. But like I said, at the end of the day, I got to do everything I can to win a game.
Jack.
Torey, just looking at some research the last couple of days, kind of jived with what you were doing earlier in the series, where it talked about the penalty for seeing, especially your high leverage relievers in a 7-game series, too frequently. The penalty for that is more even than the third time through the order penalty. I was just wondering your thoughts on that, and if some of your internal research informs some of the decisions you've made in this series.
Yeah. Some people ask me, even inside of that clubhouse, why I didn't put in Seawald, Ginkle, Thompson, Saul Frank. I think I did use, I can't remember game 1 in the 5-3 loss. Why I didn't go with the front line guys. I just knew that we had 6 games left in a very short amount of time, and I was trying to preserve those guys for when we really needed them. So they have gone back to back. I know that. I know what happens when certain guys go back to back to back. But we were all in yesterday. We had to win that baseball game. That was our mindset. We were very determined to go out there and do all we could. And I had to make good decisions to let the players know that I was on board with that as well. So we understand there are penalties. The players are walking in right now. We'll get some updates and rundowns on how they're feeling. We'll plug things into the model that that we have, and we're full throttle again today. And to me, fatigue is a state of mind. And if you want it bad enough, you're never tired. And I said that to you guys yesterday, and I'll continue to say as we move forward. I know it's very risky, but we had to get to today. We don't want to get run out of this building, and I think our guys responded.
Jesse.
Torey, going back to Alex Homer yesterday just for a second, did it surprise you at all that he was able to pull a ball that was on kind of the far outside corner of the plate?
Yeah, I saw it, had a fastball, a little run. It was up, out over the plate. Kimbrel's got a little rise on his fastball. That's made him so effective for so many years. No, it doesn't. These players, these kids, they train so hard to hit all pitches at all times in any part of the strike zone, and especially at or near the top bar. Now, as far as it being a pull home run, I think certain people will say that hitting the ball to the opposite field for them is somewhere in the middle, just based on their approach and what they're trying to do per pitch or per at bat. So going the other way doesn't necessarily mean you're going to hit the ball down the left field line. I think he stayed through that ball and backspun it, probably hit it in the right direction where he's able to slug it the way he did.
We'll take 2 last ones, JP, and then we'll finish up with Barry.
Torey, beyond just improved fastball command to the Phillies' key lefty bats, what are the things you're looking for with Zach today?
Yeah, just to get on a good run and get on a good Zach run. Let us start Zach watching, and Gallen, of course. And then I love nothing more that when he's starting to attack and feels good that he's striding on and off the field with that special swagger. So that's what I'm looking for. It is attacking holes, weaknesses, staying with his strengths when he can, and having some quick, easy innings. I know that he has a lot to prove. I don't think if you ask him, he's going to say he threw the ball okay the last time, but I know deep down something's burning inside of him.
Barry.
Zach without a K.
Right. Yeah.
Going back to Game 3,
Mm-hmm.
did you talk to Pham about the base running mistake in the ninth inning and why it happened?
I barked at Pham, and then I allowed the coaches to coach it up. Yeah. So I barked at the coaches a little bit louder, and I allowed them to go out and do their job. I was ready to get after everybody, and this is why what I feel. This is when I feel like I have the best bench coach in baseball. Somebody that's been handcrafted for me. Right? He understands me. He gets me. I was in my office and I was getting ready to tear down the hallway to go talk to people, and he basically stopped me and put his hand on my chest and said, "We're good, man. I got this." So when somebody tells me that I trust like that, I know we're good. So I didn't have to go any further than that.
Do you know what happened? Was it just like a brain cramp, or
it was
watching the play at the plate?
It was. It was just a foggy mistake that happens every once in a while. And this is postseason baseball. You can't blink. And we've talked about that and rehearsed it in spring training over and over and over again. The sign, he knew the sign. It's a simple sign. So we got to be better, and we will be.
Do you have any sort of expectations tonight on Zach, where you're going to let him go a little longer because of how much you've used the bullpen in the last couple of days?
Yeah, potentially. Not 115 pitches, though, not 120. It's going to be within reason, and I'll be considerate of his up downs and the amount of work he's had to do per inning to get to that point. But yeah, if I get some news that we have some down relievers, which I doubt we will, my mindset is everybody's going to be available, then I might ask Zach to go a little bit extra. But I'll try to do the best I can to help us win a game.
If he asks you to stay in the game, which he always does, you might consider it.
Yeah. If Zach Gallen is doing his thing and we're all Zach watching, absolutely. Absolutely. So you got me. This is not a court of law, Barry, because at the end of the game, if I do something different, you're getting the first question. I know what you're going to ask. All right? So I will just say I struck it from the record. All right? I struck this last comment I made from the record. It never was made. All right.
Thanks, Torey. We'll see you post game. Okay, we'll get started with Miguel Castro, who's got the first question for Miguel. We'll start here in the middle.
Miguel, ¿cómo se siente en un día tan importante como el de ayer, la necesidad que tenían de ganar y que el manager confiara en ustedes para un día de bullpen?
No, realmente, como te digo, uno siempre tiene la misma mentalidad, salir a competir, salir a dar lo mejor en el terreno y confiar en lo que uno tiene. Realmente eso es lo que nos llevaba a nosotros a donde estamos hoy en día, estar positivo y hacer un buen trabajo, tratar de hacer la cosa bien todo el tiempo.
Okay, so the question was, how does it feel to be part of the bullpen and be trusted for a game like this? And his answer was to you try to focus in doing your best. So it's pretty much happy that the result was what was expected.
Y en un momento tan importante como la postemporada en que el bullpen es tan crucial, ¿cómo está esa unidad entre los relevistas del equipo ahora mismo?
So in a moment that it's as important as is a postseason game, how is the vibes in between his peers in the bullpen?
No, realmente, como te digo, la oportunidad de uno aprovechar a cada momento, salir agresivo, aprovechar cada oportunidad, tratar de sacar a los bateadores de out y estar listo en cada momento. Realmente la confianza es lo que nos ha ayudado al bullpen día a día a mantenerse estable, primeramente saludable, que cuando uno está salud uno puede controlar la situación. Realmente, como te digo, me siento muy feliz de cada momento salir al terreno, dar lo mejor de mí al 100%. Hay muchos jugadores jóvenes que tienen deseo de jugar, competir Eso es lo que nos ha ayudado mucho durante la temporada y eso es lo que nos ha hecho ser un equipo peligroso en esta altura.
Trust is one of the things that had helped them. He's also pointing the fact that this is a young group and there's a lot of energy and positive vibes among the team. So he believed that that's something that had helped to the whole group.
JP?
Miguel, gracias por su tiempo. ¿Cuál ha sido el impacto de Brent Strom en su carrera?
Perdón, ¿puede repetir de nuevo?
¿Cuál ha sido el impacto de Brent Strom, el entrenador de lanzadores, en su carrera?
Bueno, él siempre desde que llegué aquí, que firmé con Arizona, él siempre se ha mantenido constante, muchas conversaciones, nos trata de ayudar cada día, nos habla siempre, ¿sabe?, de mantenernos positivos, mezclar los picheos, ser agresivo y gracias a Dios hemos tenido buena comunicación, buen impacto y le agradezco mucho en algunas situaciones que él siempre ha venido a acercarnos, a hablarnos y tratar de ayudarnos, de mezclar los picheos, ejecutar buenos lanzamientos.
So the question was how much impact Brent Strom had on his career, and Miguel was like, he's pointing the fact that since day one in spring training, he's been on top of things, very proactive about talking about sequencing, about what pitches to use, how to execute certain pitches in certain situations.
¿Cómo describe la calidad de Gabriel Moreno como su receptor?
Bueno, bien, un jugador joven, gracias a Dios, constante, he trabajado fuerte, no hemos llevado bien, la comunicación, ha sido un proceso, pero gracias a Dios se ha visto la gran diferencia que ha tenido quechando, llevando los juegos. Nos sentimos muy cómodos como él lleva los juegos, la agresividad, el impacto, la confianza que nos hemos mantenido uno al otro. Y pienso que hay mucha química entre el bullpen y los queches y realmente me siento muy contento por el trabajo que él ha venido haciendo, por igual con el bullpen, llamando los juegos. Increíble, realmente nos sentimos muy cómodos con el trabajo que ha venido cómo ejecuta el juego.
So obviously the question was about the impact on Gabby Moreno. He's saying that it's been a process throughout the year, but in general, the whole bullpen is very happy and comfortable with Gabby. So they're pretty happy about having him over.
Jack in the back on the right.
I know it's been quite a year for you personally, and you reached some really good heights early, had a little tough time in the middle, finished strong. You're in your second straight championship series. How strong are you feeling now? And do you feel like maybe some of the use early in the season contributed to maybe a little bit of a downturn?
Él sabe que esta temporada tú has llegado a como que a límites personales en el buen sentido de la palabra, ¿verdad? Y has tenido altos y bajos. Al principio se te usó bastante. Él quiere saber y sabe que es la segunda vez que llega a una serie de campeonatos seguido. Él quiere saber qué tan fuerte tú te sientes ahora y si sientes que el haber sido usado bastante tiene algo que ver con los up and downs, o sea, la subida y la bajada durante la temporada.
Bueno, realmente, como te digo, es un negocio que es de altos y bajos. Realmente uno entiende esa situación. Realmente uno, lo importante es seguir enfocado, tratar de hacer un buen trabajo. Uno entiende que uno va a tener buenos y malos momentos. Uno de vez en cuando uno tiene que tener su saco de ganar y el de perder, pero eso no significa que las cosas han terminado ahí. Uno tiene que seguir ejecutando, tratar de hacer un buen trabajo. Realmente durante la temporada muerta uno trabaja fuerte para estas situaciones ya durante la temporada porque es una liga demasiado larga y uno trata de mantenerse saludable. En cuanto a utilizarme todo el tiempo, básicamente yo me preparo para estar listo todos los días. Eso no es problema realmente. Uno entiende que en algún momento uno no quiere hacer la cosa mal, pero siempre pasan altas y bajas, pero uno siempre se trata de enfocar sacado realmente. Y me siento muy feliz por mi segunda postseason con los Arizona. El año pasado tuve con los Yankees. Este año ahora estamos, gracias a Dios, en una posición muy positiva. Y simplemente tratar de ayudar al equipo. Estamos en una oportunidad ahora mismo que hay que aprovecharla. Y me siento muy feliz, muy contento. Simplemente quiero seguir haciendo mi trabajo, haciendo las cosas bien y terminar fuerte.
So, in the off season, you prepare for a long journey, right? He's addressed the point that the up and downs are part of the business. He's very thankful that he's been healthy, and some of the preparation had help in those regards. But the point that he stressed about the up and downs is that it's part of the career. It comes with the business. He's prepared for it. He's done everything he could possibly do to be ready every single day. So up to his expectations, he's ready to go daily. Super excited to have the opportunity to be on a second championship. Last year, he mentioned he did it with the Yankees, and it's pretty excited about the opportunity.
Alex, down the front.
How did you develop the changeup, and how does that pitch sort of help make your slider and fastball more effective?
¿Cuándo comenzaste a desarrollar tu cambio y cómo ese picheo te ayudó a hacer tu recta y tu slider más efectivo?
Bueno, yo he utilizado mi cambio desde el año pasado. Comencé a utilizar, mayormente siempre he utilizado mi sinker y slider, pero desde el año pasado en adelante fue que yo comencé a utilizar más el cambio mío. Confío mucho en él en cualquier situación, cualquier conteo, puedo utilizarlo. Confío plenamente en mi picheo en cualquier situación, así que no tengo miedo en utilizarlo, sea zurdo o derecho. Simplemente trato de confiar en los elementos que tengo realmente.
About midpoint of last season, it was when he started drastically using it or adding the pitch to his arsenal. He's to a point that he's very comfortable in using it in any situation. And yeah, it definitely helping, it adds more value to the rest of his arsenal.
Take one last one in the middle.
Como mencionaste, estuviste en Nueva York el último par de años, los dos equipos, donde la fanaticada es bastante fuerte. ¿Cómo te has sentido estos dos últimos días específicamente aquí, donde casi 50,000 personas han estado en el estadio?
No, realmente, como te digo, es muy emocionante ver tantos fanáticos apoyando al equipo diariamente, día a día. Y le agradecemos de corazón a todos los fanáticos que se han encargado de venir a apoyar al equipo. Es muy emocionante, realmente uno no escucha nada, pero realmente uno se siente muy excited, muy emocionado realmente por ese momento. Y le agradecemos a todos los fanáticos por venir y seguir apoyándonos. Pero se siente bien, realmente, como te digo, es muy emocionante. Y uno trata de enfocarse en lo que uno tiene al frente, en el juego, tratar de sacar a todo el mundazo. Pero me siento muy agradecido, realmente, el apoyo que han venido haciendo los fanáticos, apoyando al equipo. Realmente le agradecemos plenamente y que nos sigan apoyando. Eso nos ayuda a nosotros a competir y a sentirnos conformes con lo que hemos venido haciendo.
So the question was about, like, coming from New York, he's used to facing big crowds or a lot of fans. What was his opinion about the support that we had so far? And he's pointing the fact that it's pretty exciting to have the support, and they're used to being in big crowds, and it adds another element into their preparation.